Rural Heritage on RFD TV is brought to you by Rural Heritage Magazine, a bi-monthly magazine featuring articles about farming and logging with draft animal power, small-scale diversified family farming and homesteading, and other aspects of our rich rural heritage. Rural Heritage Magazine, borrowing from yesterday to do the work of today. For subscription information, please call 319-362-3027 or order online at www.ruralheritage.com. Hi, I'm Joe Mishka from Rural Heritage Magazine, welcoming you to another half hour of Rural Heritage on RFD TV. Today we're at the Berea College Forest in Berea, Kentucky, where a group of horse loggers are demonstrating how to select and harvest worst first timber from the woods.
My name is Ben Burgess. I'm from Russell Springs, Kentucky, and I have my own business. We practice restorative forestry using draft horses, and we're trying to improve the condition of our forest. All around me I see the forest being destroyed, and if we don't change something, there's not going to be woods left. And so that's where I'm at. I'm trying to do what I can do, but I'm not making much headway by myself. A lot of people are concerned about the horses being the rare aspect of this, that they're going to be in decline, but the reality is I think the woodsmen are a lot more rare than the horses. And so if we don't do something to get some young people interested in this, there's not going to be anybody left to do the work. It's already to the point, most landowners don't want their woods destroyed, but they don't have an option. They can't go to the phone book and look up a horse logger. They're not there. They call me all the time, and I've never advertised. And they call me, want me to come work on their land. I can't do it. So that's why we're here at Berea College. We're trying to get the word out to young people. A lot of people say young people won't work. I disagree with that. I just don't think they have the option. Now, this type of work is not for everybody. We're in just a very small percentage of young people that would actually do it and enjoy it and stick with it. But they are out there. And we just got to get the word out that, hey, this is good work. There's a dignity factor to working in the woods by yourself with the animals, and you're self-reliant, and it's a good option for certain people. You just got to treat it like a job. You have to be self-motivated. You can't, just when I feel like it, I'll get up and go. No, treat it like a job. Get up every day and go do something. If you'll do like that, the money's there. Timber comes and goes, it's up and down, but treat it like a job and you can make money at it. And this is the best way to do it. We're not as fast as a skidder, but when you take in the whole aspect, the ecological benefits of what we're doing, you can't even tell we've been in these woods. When we're gone 2 weeks from now, when the trails are covered up, you won't even be able to tell we were there. 100 years from now, you can tell where a skidder walks through that.
I'm Frank Miano, and I am a senior in high school, and I go to Twin Springs High School, and I'm a pure logger with horses.
And you're working with your dad?
Yes, sir.
Have you always worked with your dad?
For a minute one, as long as I can remember. I like the seclusion, being off by ourselves in the woods. It's very peaceful.
He's a pretty competent logger, isn't he?
Yes, he is. He's an expert in this field. And when he started out, he didn't know anything, and now he knows just about everything. But the funny thing about it is every day we're still learning. Every day something different. But yeah, it's very enjoyable. No, it's hard to describe, but I think you all know what I'm talking about. It's the main thing for me is just it's not as heavy as an impact. If we want to use the horses, within 10 years, you're not even going to be able to tell we were here. In 20 years, might be coming back and cut some more than some of these little ones. So it works, and I like it.
What do you want to do when you get out of school?
I've been planning on getting a 2 years associate's degree at community college there in our county, and 2 years associate's degree in forestry, and then do that plus help Dad in the woods. Might start my own business. I'm not sure. If I did, I'd know how to do it. It's not foreign to me.
first time I met your dad, he made the point that one of the things that he likes about logging for a living, which is hard to do. It's I don't know a whole lot of horse loggers who make their living horse logging. They always got something else to help them along.
Yeah.
But one of the things he said was he gets to spend time with his family when he needs to. When something comes up, he's able to take time off and get that time back somewhere else.
You're right. I'm there right there with him whenever he's not working. I'm not working. So, and some days if it's raining and just well, we're not logging today, we can do something around the house, or hell, sometimes when it's the sun shining and there's just other stuff we need, or neighbors have a birthday party, just stuff like that. We don't have to work if we don't want to. And the bills keep coming. We have to work eventually, but it's not like 9 to 5. If we don't show up, we're gonna get fired, kind of thing. Come on. Whoa!
The timber industry has pretty much always been a boom and bust. They came in, in the east and cut their way to the west and went to the south and just imagine if they would have had this kind of instead of cut it all and go somewhere else, if they would have had a let's manage it here and stay type of attitude all along, I think we would be more like the Menominee Reservation in Wisconsin, which is one of the best examples of long-term management. Maybe the whole country would be like that if we just would have had that attitude. These rural areas, especially like East Kentucky, we have some of the highest poverty in the nation. If you drive through some of these communities, all there is a Dollar General, but there's forests.
Yeah.
And why are people living in a trailer that was hauled in when there's all these forests? If we had more of a local economy, people could be put to work. Everything from horse logging to small scale sawmills, cabinet making, log cabin making, all kinds of stuff, all the way up. And then you've got those dollars going around and around instead of they're all going to Dollar General and leaving the area.
And you're insulated from economic hardship much more. Yeah.
Right.
You want to do a roll from this side?
No, we'll just put
right in the middle?
Yeah.
Ooh, ooh. Ooh. Ooh.
there's still no daylight showing in this forest, so it shows how overstocked it is, that we can cut a big tree and it doesn't open up a big sunny spot. There's far too many trees per acre, so that's why we're thinning this on a worst first basis. There'll be an opening in here once we get those other two. This is a wonderful forest, 9,000 acres, and there's no reason why a school that's here to educate Appalachian kids that are low income doesn't have a program to teach them how to do this. And that's the point of this event, is to prove to them that we can do it and set up these younger men to train these students. I've worked on this for over 10 years. Wendell Berry's been helpful every step of the way. We wouldn't be here without Wendell writing letters and supporting us. And, so this could be a real boon to the culture of horse logging, animal-powered forestry. There's no reason why you couldn't use oxen, and obviously we have mules. I want to teach the kids something so that when they graduate, they can go right back to their community and go right to work. Because anybody that practices restorative forestry with modern animal power has got more work than they'll ever want to do.
Right.
I mean, it's overwhelming, the demand for the services.
Right.
And I think people like you and myself, who have invested our life promoting this, have actually outdone ourselves in that there's more demand for the services than there are people to provide them. Everybody I know that's ever been in it for any length of time is overwhelmed with work. And
we're trying to hang on to as many of the good quality trees as we can without causing them to be susceptible to windfall and things like that. So we're taking out the cool trees, the leaning trees, the trees that are going to die like the ash, and create some openings to establish some reproduction in there. And then over time, what you would do is as those openings become grown up, then you would expand out, and we should be able to come back in here, especially if we're using horses, where the horses don't create a lot of disturbance. You don't have to rut the ground up, and you don't mess up your residual stand, so you can afford to leave a lot more in the woods. You can leave trees when you're logging with horses that probably would just get messed up, if you're using equipment, especially in terrain like this where it's very difficult to maneuver around with a skidder or even a bulldozer. So
you're a student here at Berea?
Yeah, I'm a senior agriculture and natural resources with the forestry minor at Berea College, and I work in the forestry department for my work study, because Berea College is a work study college. Everybody who goes here has a job on campus. So it covers a wide spectrum, because we have like over 9,000 acres, and there's only 5 people, including the 2 student laborers. So the water, we maintain these watersheds here behind us, and we clear beaver dams, we do trail maintenance, put in water bars, fell trees, remove fallen trees, do invasive species removal, do invasive species treatment as far as treating pesticides for like the emerald ash borer and hemlock woolly adelgid. We plane out stuff on the sawmill sometimes, and that most recently now I'm taking on the horse logging aspect of what we're doing. So I did a internship with the forestry department, and in the internship I did a research project using goats to control kudzu as an invasive species. That was really effective. We put the kudzu in, we put the goats in on the kudzu, and they ate it. It took about 8 days on 1/3 of an acre, and then we went in and sprayed, and we haven't had any kudzu growth since. That's actually right down the road here. And then I went and did an apprenticeship with Ben for my forestry internship. It's my outlet for school, right? I've always been an outdoorsy person, so I really appreciate that I can do this. And when I graduate from Berea, I'll have a little over 3 years of forestry experience and an undergraduate degree. So that's pretty good. And I don't think that opportunity is anywhere else, really.
Hi, I'm Joe Mishka of Rural Heritage Magazine. I'm on location of one of the many events we cover that celebrates our rural heritage. If you enjoy our show, check out our magazine, where you'll learn more about the people that blend the past with what works today. You can save almost 20% off the newsstand price by subscribing at ruralheritage.com or or chat with us at 877-647-2452. That's toll free, 877-647-2452.
I'm going to show you something about our carts.
All right.
Different. If you see us turn that cart over,
Yeah.
see how easy it turned right back over?
Right.
We really wouldn't even had to grab the hold of it. You just swung the mules and it just set right back up.
Right.
I'll show you why. The difference is right here. What we use is stay chains.
Yep.
We don't put a pin in this double tree. It's just setting up on there. And it typically, whenever we're pulling a log, that double tree will be an inch or so off of that, just floating.
Right.
So it doesn't put any pressure on their necks. It doesn't put a lot of tongue weight on it.
It's like spreader and then
Yeah. So we use this stretcher or double tree without a pin and use a stay chain, and you can see, you know, if you got different size horses or mules, you know, an inch up or down makes a big difference. But ideally, when they're pulling, this will be up off of this a little bit.
It's suspended away from the
Yeah,
cart.
so it doesn't put, everybody looks at these tongue chains on the front of this cart and thinks it'll hurt their necks, but if you get in the front of them, you'll see the chains are loose.
right.
And then if you're in the woods and you just want to take a team out and use snake and tongs or log grabs,
Right.
you just
Oh yeah.
unhook this here and there,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
and you got your hook and you're ready to go to
Yeah.
work
Yeah.
with your team. Or you can just take one single tree off and use a single one. Everything stays together. You don't have to carry all this stuff to the woods.
Yeah.
But this was the secret, really, to making an arch a lot better.
Right.
Typically, everybody pins them right here.
Right.
So when you turn it over,
Right.
and this is straight up in the ground, turned over with it.
Right.
But if you take that, and you can't get it back up,
Right.
Right.
and this is all tight, but if we turn this over, this just does whatever it needs to get out of the way.
Right.
And when you turn it over, you can just swing your mules opposite, and it'll stand right back up every time. I've turned it over me on it,
Yeah. Yeah.
and on the way off of it, just swing them, and it'll
Yeah.
stand right back up.
That's a good idea. I like that.
But that is the key to these being a lot better, in my opinion. It just works so much better. That helps you too. Yeah, I told him about the tongue chains. Most people,
Put a neck
if you
yoke on.
if you put a neck yoke, I mean, I can show you with this log. You put a neck yoke, that tongue, because you're pulling up here high above the center.
Right.
When you take off with this, that tongue is going up.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Right.
And where's a neck yoke going to be? It's going to break teeth or a jaw.
Right. Yeah. It's gonna go to smacking chins.
And that never, well, I've seen this tongue up above their ears,
Yeah.
just way up
Oh,
high,
yeah. Yeah.
and it never hurts anything
Right.
because of the tongue chains.
Right. Right.
Because he give me the plan, well, he give him the plans and he give me the plans, so
Right,
I can't
right.
take credit for that. But the
Right.
secret to this arch,
Yeah.
do you see how that's on an angle right there?
Yeah. Yeah.
That means the center of that spindle,
Right.
I think it's, don't quote me, but I believe it's 2.5 or 2 3/4 inches behind the center of this.
Right. Right.
The center of this card is here, and the center of that axle is here.
Right. Right. So they're all.
And that's what makes that pick up.
Okay.
Some carts, they put this is straight,
Right.
and the hub, the spindle is right in the center, and it won't pick a log
Right.
up like these
I
will.
see what you're talking about.
And but now if I've talked to them about that, and
Yeah.
they wanted pictures of this and measurements, and I gave it to them,
Yeah.
and they really appreciated it.
Yeah.
But that hinge thing in the center,
Right.
I'm not stout enough to ever. Now you may take slack out of a chain, but
Right.
we
right.
can take slack out of a chain just like that.
Right,
And the
right.
key to this for safety is don't ever put your hand back here.
Right.
Because even if it's loose, if that mule pulls up,
Yeah.
I mean,
You're gonna get yanked.
so always put your hand up here and bring your chain out.
Right.
Same thing was going down.
Right.
You know, it's really a one-handed deal.
Right. Right.
But if you ever put your hand back here, you're in trouble.
Yeah. I see.
You could hurt yourself bad.
Yeah.
They just lean up and
It'll just tighten up.
Yeah.
cut
yeah.
your finger off.
Um,
They don't have to do nothing drastic. Just
Right. Right.
And I will take credit for this invention. You mentioned the hinge part that they put in there is where this
Right.
will drop down.
Yeah.
It's a good idea. It works great. Some of them hinge them all the way across,
Right.
but you can see we keep our chains just hanging on it. So if
Right.
you hinge it all the way across
Right.
and you let that down, then you got to go back and pick up all your loose chains.
Right.
Some of them hinge it right in the center, and that's great.
Right.
A good idea. But if you're, because you will get this tight enough sometimes that when you get to the landing, you can see like right now, I couldn't get that undone.
Right.
I'd have to, I can back them
Right.
up.
Right.
But if you were in a position you couldn't,
Right.
I just took my PV and welded a chain hook on it.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and I can stick that in there like that.
Right. Grab a link and raise it.
Of course, his link is bigger, but I can pick it up like that enough that I can get it undone.
And they can get big enough they can't do that.
Yes, they can.
Drag it up on little sticks
Yeah.
of some sort.
But the secret is that can't be in the center line. It has to be back to make that pick up.
Okay.
And of course, when you see them pull like this, there's no pressure on their necks at all.
Right.
No, nothing on their back. The horse or the mule is comfortable. There's no interfering with that. And then the other thing we do a little different on these carts, because you can't always back right up to a log like this and hook up to it. Sometimes it's in a bad spot.
Right.
So you just go put your chain on it and pull your chain over here. Well, if you hook it up here, it's so much higher, it'll turn it over sometime. But if you hook it down here, this is actually 4 inches below the draft line, because that double tree is laying on top, and that's a 4-inch pipe.
Right.
So this is actually 4 inches below your center of your draft. So I use that hook, and it's in the center and it's below the tongue, so you won't flip over. When you get out and get squared up, then you can just back up to it and unhook that and come up here. And I just find this right here the most handy piece on the cart myself. It's just to have that hook on, below the tongue or below the double tree, so it's in a more of a center. It's below the center of the draft line on the harness. But I built this cart. I mean, he gave me the plans and Jason gave him the plan, but I built this cart, and they laugh at my hooks and all, but I mean, a hook like that, the chain don't slide through it. Some of them, they have to wrap their chains, but I can keep everything, grabs or whatever I need right on here.
Well, yeah. Whoa. I didn't even tell them what to do. They just done it.
I know it. Thanks for joining us today at Rural Heritage on RFD TV, where we borrow from yesterday to do the work of today.
This program is available for purchase. To order your copy, please call 319-362-3027 or visit www.ruralheritage.com. Rural Heritage is a bi-monthly magazine dedicated to draft animal farming and logging, as well as other aspects of our rich rural heritage. It is published by Mishka Press, which also offers a complete line of back-to-the-land books, DVDs, and calendars. Call or write for a catalog or subscription information, or visit our website at www.ruralheritage.com.